RNC coverage this morning. Professor Mike Wagner of UW is back with us as we kind of break down all of the events of really the last couple of weeks in the world of politics.
Right.
There's been so much to talk about. And, first up, some new polling of registered voters in Wisconsin the first 2 days of the RNC shows Trump leads Biden 48-43. Before the assassination attempt, Trump led Biden 47-44. What do you make of all of that?
I make that not much has changed, right? So before the debate that did not go well at all for President Biden, before the assassination attempt on former President Trump's life, we had this kind of pretty close race. It's still pretty close. There hasn't yet been that kind of convention bump we might expect. There hasn't been a cratering of Biden's support. On the other hand, he was up about 8 points this time in the last presidential election nationally, and is down several this time. And so there's been a huge change. He hasn't been able to right the ship yet. And so right now it's kind of status quo, even despite all of the dramatic events we've had over the past few weeks.
So polling also shows that while sometimes Vice President Harris performs better against Trump than Biden, it's not by much. Do you think if Biden bows out, Democrats will rally behind her? And if so, will polls play a role in that decision?
I think that Democratic elites' estimation of who's the most electable would be a part of their decision of who to support if President Biden decides not to run again. I think Vice President Harris is the most logical choice, but this would be an unprecedented thing, and maybe there are lots of people in the Democratic Party who think they should be president, and so it wouldn't be surprising to see a few of them throw their hats into the ring either.
So our crew spoke to some voters while at the RNC. Most said the convention taking place in their city doesn't impact their vote. Do you think that's true for a lot of Wisconsinites, and will the same be true for Illinois when it comes to the DNC?
I don't know that, like the fact that they had it is what's impacting the vote. Is that when they're there, they have an opportunity to speak to voters, discuss their issues, have an opportunity to learn what's happening on the ground in a way that might affect future campaign strategies. And so it's possible there could be a little bit of a bump, but I don't think anybody walks into the ballot box and says, well, gosh, they had the convention in our state, I guess I'll vote for this person.
Trump had said his acceptance speech drastically changed after the assassination attempt. Do you think that was reflected yesterday, and did those calls for unity land?
I think it might have been reflected in the first few minutes of his speech, but then it went back to the same Donald Trump we've known since he's begun running for public office. And so there were lots of bombastic and false claims made, lots of kind of, atypical partisan attacks made that kind of fall outside normal American politics. And so Trump was Trump last night, except for maybe the first few minutes of his speech.
So what do you think comes next for President Biden after this big week for Republicans?
A lot of reporting suggests that we may have a big decision coming from the president, but his campaign spokesperson says he's still running. And so we have this interesting situation where there's basically a month until the next convention. If he does decide not to run, there's this really open space and things are really in flux. If he continues to run, he has an opportunity to try to shore up support, but also has not been able to do that with each public appearance and speech and interview he's given since his disastrous debate performance.
Every time President Biden comes out to talk, is even just walking up and down Air Force One, people are, really paid attention now.
His every step up and down a staircase is being scrutinized. His answer to every question, any verbal slip-up is being, intensely analyzed, and all of that is off the message he would prefer to be on.
All right. Appreciate your insight this morning. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you so much.
What better way to spend your birthday than talking politics, right?
That's right, and early birthday to you, too.
Thank you. Yeah, we're almost birthday buddies.
That's right.
Thank you, Mike. Let's check in now with Savannah Brito with